Hello, friends. How sensitive are you to the Lord's promptings to deal with heart issues? Did you know that the condition of your heart determines the power that the Lord graces you with? Let's look at how the mighty King David dealt with a heart issue in Psalm 41, verses 11 through 12. By this I know that you delight in me. My enemy will not shout in triumph over me, but you have upheld me because of my integrity and set me in your presence forever. It's interesting that David uses the Hebrew word yaria, translated in triumph over here. He could have used the word gabar instead, translated prevailed in Genesis 7:17 through 24. But he didn't. And why is that? Maybe because yaria actually refers to the spiking of the football dance after the touchdown while the other team watches. It's the taunting of the defeated team that usually occurs after a win of some type. That taunting is to shame the other team and tag them with the spirit of defeat. That spirit of defeat saps the very energy out of the opposing players, just like the devil uses it on us. King David was doing some self-evaluation before the Lord and coming to the realization that an ugliness had crept into this man after God's own heart, purity of spirit that made David who he was. But he was also confessing it to the Lord at the same time. Why? Because he didn't want to protect it. He didn't want to own it. He wanted to get rid of that ugliness. Why? Because he didn't get to be king by anything but by God. And he knew his heart connection with the Lord was critical to his power from the Lord. It's very easy and common for us to harbor and wind up protecting the shame that separates us from God. It's like a dirty oil in a fine European race car. Eventually, we'll have serious problems if we don't get clean oil and filter. We can feel quite justified in our position and ignore the ugliness that we sense. That in itself is a symptom of our defensiveness. And that defensiveness is a callousness building up around our hearts to the shame. Soon we won't even sense it anymore, and we will have all sorts of rationalizations to protect it. Anyone would understand our position and probably side with us, and yet somewhere deep inside it gnaws on us. But at least David knew to take it before the Lord. David had a commitment to let the Lord examine his heart, as it says in Psalm 139, 23 through 24. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. David understood at times, at least, that he needed to take feelings of shame to the Lord as quickly as possible and not defend or rationalize them. They're there as a symptom of something, a deeper root that you have to pull up by the roots if you want to be clean. Remember, it's clean oil in a race car that keeps it running at top performance. King David had a heart like a high-performance engine, and he kept it that way by keeping it clean. Getting before the Lord and getting rid of shame is not only a relief, it keeps the power of God flowing through you.